All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. I'd also like to give double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone that do well. And I would like to say peace and salutations to the Lord's elect, to the hopeful elect in the 1/3, and Adawan Ratazah. This lesson will be edifying as well as exhorting to the sincere sheep of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash, and Tawada Abanawa Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Forgive me the inspiration to do this lesson. And as the title reads, Omen alert, Omen alert, Omen alert, thy captivity is accomplished, Zion. Okay. And if you didn't hear, there is a quite notable plantation that is burned or burned to the ground. I don't have the exact details. Let me share it with you right here. Right here. Nation's largest remaining. Okay. Let me make sure audio is good. Right here. Yep. Nation's largest remaining antebellum, before bellum war. Before Civil War. That's why they call it antebellum. Plantation burns to the ground. Call Hala Abanawi Yahweh Bashim Shai, Bashim Rakakwadash. So right here, okay, this plantation burned to the ground, which symbolizes what? Our captivity. Okay, I'm just being spiritual. Okay, this is spiritual. Okay, this is a historic plantation right here. I don't know why they pulled it. Look at that. Noto Way plantation burned to the ground. Now, let me show you why I said omen. Okay, we got to be spiritual in this thing. All right, you go into the word omen, casual event or occurrence supposed to portend good or evil. So this is good for us. This is good news. It makes me think of the scene when Jenny was shooting rocks at her old house that her father hurt her in. Okay, and then what happened? My man Forrest Gump had it destroyed. So this is an omen to let us know that Babylon, that has held us in captivity with all this pain, suffering, trauma. There's a lot of trauma that we have from past experiences that don't get identified until now in the truth, while because you're applying the scriptures in the spirit, and you say, "Man, I've been through some traumatic things." Well, Babylon in a whole, okay, has traumatized us as a nation. But that's over now. Yes, there's Jacob's trouble. Yes, there's an hour of temptation, but there will be no more captivity for us. This is it. Okay. Lamentations 4:22. The punishment of thy iniquity is accomplished. See, this is an omen, man. This is spiritual. This is spiritual. A very notable, largest remaining plantation symbolizing our captivity has burned to the ground like Babylon will. Okay, let's go back. It says, is accomplished. Oh, let's see what that word accomplished means real quick. Okay, so the Lord is comforting us in the spirit so we don't have to remain so-called black and angry in the corner. Look, to complete, finished. What did Yahushua say? It is done. To finished. Okay, completely. Like it completely burned to the ground. Cease. Destroy. To destroy. Okay, this is what's getting ready to happen to this place. It's getting ready to be destroyed. This is an omen. And that's what I take from it, because the scriptures say that this captivity will burn. So one of the largest remaining plantations just burned in the year 2025. Oh, daughter of Zion, this over, man. You're not going back into captivity. Okay. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thy iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sin. So Esau is up next for the curses, for the captivity. All right. Esau is about to receive that crown of captivity. Okay. Our time is done. All right. This is why Esau tries to hold on to bits and pieces of that power. And he does it through your job. He does it through bills. Okay. He tries to do it through being, police, legal reasons. Okay. He's truly trying to hold on, ruling over you. And we're slowly spiritually slipping out of his grasps, but we will be found ultimately in his hands. But why? Because it's prophecy. They refuse to let us go. But there's also a law that says if we be found in his hands, he shall be put to death. So even though it says he refused to let us go, guess what? Now he's going to answer for that. Like in the last scene, one of the last scenes of 12 Years of a Slave, did not that Edomite try to fight and keep Solomon Northup still on the plantation, even though legally he was bound to be free, but he wants to keep you in bondage. So be aware of that mental captivity that Esau is still trying to do unto us. And where I see it mainly is jobs, positions, legalities. Outside of that, he ain't got no room or range over you. Exodus 21:16, and he that stealeth a man, us, and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. So death is coming for the captor. All right. The captive is getting ready to be freed, and the captor is getting ready to go in captivity. And this, the largest remaining plantation that just burned down to the ground, largest plantation in the U.S. in Babylon, burned down to the ground, is symbolizing the destruction of this Babylon that is soon going to burn. Okay. Let me show you something. I got a few things to show you, but I'm just feeling a Benjamite spirit on me. So Babylon must burn. Okay. It's one of my favorite songs I listen to by Benjamin. All right. Now let me put Sizzler. Sizzler. Let's see what comes up. Babylon is burning. See, this is ravening as a wolf. Raven going into speaking, singing. Okay. Babylon must burn. And I believe Capleton is also in the song as well. Okay. Let's go over here. Very good song. Babylon used them brain. See? And when you go into the lyrics, they also mention the mark of the beast. Now, they don't have full understanding. They just had the spirit. See? Babylon used them brain. Will them, say bad mind them. Burn in the flame. Babylon burn, right? Let me go over here. And I just also want to show you, he mentions the mark of the beast. All right, let me see. Look, judgment. Look, Babylon, a use them brain, which is a mental captivity. Trust me, I know, man. True them one ghetto youth dam fi go down the drain. Babylon use them brain. The mark of the beast, the whole the claim. The mark of the beast. See that? He's mentioning Babylon and the mark of the beast. Let's take this child off the screen. So this is prophecy, man. All right. Now from there, let's get into some history about this plantation, because one could say, what a beautiful, but let's go into it. So this plantation is called Nodaway Plantation. And let me show you something real quick. Your business, your job, okay, is ran like a plantation. Okay. So we are still in captivity. Let me cut this one out. Let me go right here. There it goes. Plantations were run like a business. Yes, plantations were fundamentally businesses. So now where's the plantation? Hence why brothers say, I'm on the plantation. I work in a big house. That is a business. Okay. It's a business, but it's ran like a plantation. Okay. Look, designed to maximize profit through the cultivation, sale, blah, blah, blah. And who was the employees? Jake. Brutal exploitation of enslaved labor. So now this plantation that ran itself as a business, okay, like modern day today, Nodaway Plantation, while a visibly striking example of antebellum architect, remember antebellum, before bellum, war, before Civil War. So this burned down before the World War. It's an omen. This plantation, that's one of the largest remaining plantations in Babylon, just burned down before the Third World's War. Look, Nodaway was built by more than 150 enslaved Israelite people who were owned, whipped, starved, raped. Okay? Let's go into this. It says, carries a very dark and traumatic history that now the Lord is showing us is over. Okay? It's over. Complex history due to its reliance on enslaved labor and its role in perpetuating the brutal system of slavery. So I looked it up. I said, Nodaway Plantation, ugly history. So shout out to Allen Iverson for giving me this overview. Now let's look. Nodaway Plantation was built and operated using the forced labor of enslaved Israelites. In 1860, 5 years prior to your so-called freedom, 5 years prior to your so-called freedom. Let me show you that real quick. Let's go right here. Okay. Let's go this. Bing, bing, right here. 5 years before your so-called freedom. Okay. 246 years of slavery, 1619 to 1865. Wait a minute. We're reading a fun fact in 1860. That's 5 years before your so-called freedom. But what happened after your so-called freedom? You dealt with 99 years of Jim Crow laws. This is why you got the civil rights movement. Then within that, you dealt with almost 90 years of lynching that ended so-called in 1986. Okay. It's a lot of oppression. Oppression is cruelty with authority. Okay. That's what oppression is. When you have authority and you are cruel. And Esau, Edom, has a very cruel ruling spirit upon him when it comes to us as a people. All right. Let's go back. It says in 1860, John Hampton, blah, 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 the owner of enslaved 150 people who toiled in sugarcane fields, boiling houses, and within mansions itself. Enslaved individuals built the mansion, right? Just like we built this, but that's one of the curses. Ye shall build, okay, but another shall dwell therein. That's one of the curses, right? Let me show you that real quick. In Deuteronomy, okay, it says right here, you build, another dwells in. KJV, let me take the caps off. You build, let me go to it. Sometimes I like using Google because it goes directly to it, but we got to go to it ourselves. So you go into the curses, okay? Let's go right down and into it. Just give me a second right here. Look, you grope at noonday, you betroth a wife, but another man lies with her. Deuteronomy 28:30, thou shalt betroth the wife. That's why you have the jumping the broom. Remember why you had jumping the broom? Because they had to secretly marry because the demon on Esau wants your woman. He wants her because that's yours. So he takes her from you. So you had to have secret relationships. Okay? Thou shalt betroth a wife and another man shall lie with her. And in these instances, grape her, take her. But now today we're so jacked up that she willingly goes. Thou shalt build an house, plantation, and thou shalt not dwell therein. I remember just before I was coming into the truth, I was an electrician, the construction. And I remember I didn't have electricity, but I was going and installing electricity at Edomites' houses. I would see them having the lights on in the daytime. And here it is. I'm running an extension cord from all the way in the basement, all the way up to the second floor to keep my refrigerator on. Okay. So I know what it's like to live without electricity while watching the oppressor overly use his like it's nothing. Okay. I know what it's like to build a house for someone and not dwell therein. That happened to me recently. I had to build this house for this Edomite, and we had to build it on virgin soil because that's the only way you can build with a sure foundation. And I'm building that shit for fucking pennies on the dime, man. Wouldn't even give me a raise, but I'm building over $100,000 house for this Edomite couple. But that's because we're under them curses. That's because we're in captivity. But where is it? Where's my pictures? We like them pictures, but it's burning now. Okay. It's over now. It's an omen. It's over now. Let's go back. It says that thou shalt build an house and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard and shalt not gather the grapes thereof. Exactly. Okay. This is all captivital punishment. So now from there, let's go back to some more dark, nasty history. Oh, because I just said that. Habakkuk 2, and 16. Thou art filled for shame. Thou art filled with shame for glory. Okay. So now the glory that Edom, has lived deliciously with is now his shame, because now it's being known what he has done and who he did it to. He didn't do it to the black people. He did it to the children of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Big difference. This is why the third woe is also prophesied for what he has done to Zion. It says, drink thou also. Now you got to drink that cup of slavery. Now you got to taste what it feels like to work in slave labor and not have freedom. Okay. Now you get to taste what it feels like to be overseen. And let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. So this is beautiful. This is an omen. All right, let's go back. It says enslaved individuals built the mansion, Deuteronomy 28:30, cultivated and processed crops, Deuteronomy 28:30, maintained the house, cooked, cleaned, and cared for the family. Isn't that what we do now? Do we not maintain the house? Are we not maintenance men? Are we not cooks? Are we not cleaners? Do we not care for Edomite families all the way up to this day? Behold, you are yet this day in your captivity, but now we're watching captivity burn and taking the spiritual omens out of it. They lived in cramped, inadequate quarters, single one-bedroom apartment. That's right now. You're still living in cramped, inadequate corners. quarters stacked on top of each other right now, while the Randolphs enjoy the luxuries of the mansion. Yup, my so-called break room at my job is legitimately a fucking storage closet, but they showcase rich loyalty, awareness, equality. You know, they do all that shit, but me, this so-called black guy, all right, this so-called black man, why is he pushed all the way back in the corner? Okay, but guess what? The black woman gets the office. The black woman gets a name badge, but the black nigga man who keeps the whole building together, he gets to have the fucking scraps when we provide free food for you. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, but our captivity is accomplished. So it's all good. It's all good. Sugar plantations like Nodaway were known for their harsh conditions and brutality, even by the standards of time, because they furthered the affliction. Okay? The scriptures don't say that we're going to be pickled, that we're going to be tarred and feathered. The things that Esau has done to us, okay, has far exceeded the punishment that the Lord said we would go through. You furthered the curses. Enslaved people were subjugated to physical and emotional abuse. See, there's a lot of trauma that we as people have dealt with, hence why the gospel is healing our brokenhearted and liberating us from the captive, okay? So you got to watch Israelites that are out here teaching, and they are not anointed to preach the gospel. IUIC is not anointed to preach the gospel. Our people are so jacked up and through that you telling them to wear pants or put fringes on is not going to fix them spiritually, okay? Yahweh Shai is who's fixing us spiritually, including whipping, starvation, and grape. See that? See that? Families were separated and individuals were treated as property rather than human beings. You see that? Rather than human beings. And they argue that the plantation's operation office downplayed or ignored the realities of slavery. Is that scriptural? Is that scriptural? Does he speak lawfully concerning the oppression that he has caused? Absolutely. Psalm 73. We can read all of this, but I'm just going to get to the point because I don't know to I'm going to go on a 7-mile bike run just to stay in shape. You know, we got to maintain this body. All right. We got to keep our health up. You know, us as men, you know, and you sisters, hey, make sure you got a proper diet. Make sure you're putting things in to balance out your body. Take care of yourself, man, because guess what? If you don't, you're going to further your captivity. Okay. I get it. Hey, I like a nice cold glass of yayan, but that's not what always going to fix us. Okay. Being pissed off for what Edom is doing to you, just trying to drink it away is not always going to fix it. You might need to hit the gym. You might need to hit the pull-up bar. You might need to go for a walk, take a bike ride. These are things you need to do. Making sure your HERB apothecary is together. Get your cortisone levels together. Get your hormones right. Regulate your system. Get some moringa, man. Get some ashwagandha. Get yourself together. I'd love to talk about it more, but fucking Massa might come down and say, you don't have the right to talk about that. All right, whatever. Psalm 73 and right here, 8. Now, just because I want to drive the point home, I want this in look, NLT, they scoff and speak only evil. In their pride, they seek to crush others. They are corrupt and they speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak lawfully. They are arrogantly threatening oppression. They speak from on high. See, they're wicked, man. So we're not here to get the sympathy from Esau. We're here to tell you how he's designed and what's coming for him. Now, I got a little bit more. I just wanted to read into that. Let me see what else we got. Okay, so from there, let's get into some judgment on his ass. Okay, Nodaway plantation history is inextricably linked to the horrors of slavery. So a plantation that is linked to horrors of our slavery has just burned down to the ground. You mean to tell me you're not going to take that as a spiritual message from on high to the body of believers to let them know, hey, you're about to get out of here. This is showing you that this place that has had you in captivity is about to burn to the ground. Okay. So now let's go into it. I want to see this one more time. Look at that. I want to look at this. I want to relish in this. Okay. See that? That's Babylon for you in a nutshell. Oh, the house of the thief. This is the house of the thief. See that? Now the house of the thief is burning. Okay. You know, the scriptures speak about the house of the thief. Let's see. I believe it's Micah, house of the thief. Isn't he a thief? I think I spelled that wrong. Let me see. Let's put house and thief. Let me see what comes up. It shall enter the house of the thief. Oh, you got laws about if somebody break in, their ass can get put to death. Right here. This is going into the chariots. Zechariah, 5:4. I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief. That's Babylon. This is a thief. And into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name, and it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof. So this bitch is going to burn. Burn, baby, burn. That's right. This place is getting ready to be burned through the next world's woe. This is Jeremiah 51:24. And I will render unto Babylon and to all the inhabitants of the Chaldees, which is all their evil that they have done in Zion in your sight, saith the Lord. So we were just reading some of the evil just from one plantation. It was built and maintained through the brutal exploitation of enslaved people. Its story serves as a reminder of the complex and difficult history of Babylon South and the ongoing need to acknowledge and grapple with the legacy of slavery. That's Deuteronomy 28. That's Deuteronomy 28 right there. Okay. But now we're starting to fixate ourselves on the blessings, not just the curses. It's time to fixate yourself on the blessings. Okay. Stop furthering your captivity in your mind. This place is about to go down. The man in front of you that causes you to be vexed is temporal. Okay. There is no spoon. Behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain. And who did he destroy? He destroyed us as a nation, us as a people. And now he's getting ready to be destroyed. Saith the Lord, Yahweh Shem Shai, which destroyeth all the earth. And I will stretch out my hand upon thee and roll thee down from the rocks and will make thee a burnt mountain. I will make you now a burnt mountain. Esau doesn't even see he's on his way out. And Esau's low level. The elites, they're witches, they're Chaldeans, Amalek, but the average Edomite you deal with is a base individual. And we are not base, okay? We are not base. We are, while they are just black and white, we are the color, okay? We are life while they want to capitalize off death. This is why there's a friction between us and them. They want a death style. We have now been giving a righteous lifestyle. This is Jeremiah 50:29, called together the archers against Babylon. So after the mandatory marking in the midst of the host, the Lord mustering the hosts of the battle, this is why nations are parading their armies right now, because the word mustereth in Isaiah 13 means to showcase, parade. The army, the people are getting ready. War is on the horizon, and Babylon will be destroyed in the next world's woe. All ye that bend the bow have nuclear capabilities. Camp against Babylon, camp against it, round about, let none thereof escape. Payback, payback, payback. Recompense her according to her work. She destroyed us, you destroy her. According to all that she has done, do unto her. For she has been proud against the Lord, against the Holy One of Israel. So this next world's war is for what has happened to us as a people. This is Joel 3. This is Joel 3:2. I will also gather, wait a minute. Let's start at 1. Let's start at 1. NKJV. NLT. At the time of those events, saith the Lord, when I restore the prosperity of Judah and Jerusalem. See? For behold, in those days and at that time, when I bring back the captives of Judah and Jerusalem. So we are getting ready to be taken back from his hands, like a father snatching his son and his daughter from this wretched one, saving his children from these evil ones. That's what's getting ready to happen. And as the Father is carrying us away, in the background, you will see this place burning. Such a beautiful climaxical, if that's a word, event for this movie. We are reaching the climax of this movie, and we're finally going to see that villain that you've been watching this whole time, that's pissed you off, that you fully emotionally invest in hating. You're going to finally see his ass be judged. That's why it says, you that are troubled, rest with us, man. Okay? You that are troubled, rest with us. Let me get that. Okay, I do want that. Let me go here, duplicate, go to 2 Thessalonians Or is it First Thessalonians? I think it's Second Thessalonians 1. All right. You that are troubled, rest with us. See? Okay. Look at all this. All right. Let me read it since I said it. Second Thessalonians 1:7. And to you who are troubled, rest with us. So we're resting and waiting. We're resting and waiting when the Lord Yahweh Shai, okay? It's Yahweh Shai, shall be revealed from heaven with his mighty angels. We read Zechariah 5, the house of the thief, in flaming fire, taking vengeance on them that know not Yahweh, nor obey the gospel. Okay? In flaming fire, taking vengeance on them that know not Yahweh, and that obey not the gospel of our Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach, who will be punished with an everlasting destruction from the presence of the Lord and from the glory of his power. So 2/3 are going to die the death of an Edomite. 2/3 are going to die the death of a heathen, man. I don't want that legacy. Joel 3:2. So if somebody says, why is there war? Well, we tell them, because of what these heathens have done to the Lord's people. I will gather all nations. What nation hasn't had a part? I will gather all nations, and Edom being the chief one, and I will bring them down into the Levant, into the valley of Jehoshaphat, so-called Middle East, and will plead and will judge. This word plead means judge. Let me show you. Mashapat. Okay, this word plead doesn't mean please. Oh, plead. No, it means judge your ass. Shapat. See, to judge them. I'm bringing them down to judge them, to execute judgment upon them. It's a hit. Okay, let's go back. I will judge them. I will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. So why is the third war taking place? To judge them for what they've done to the Lord's people, for us being scattered amongst the nations, and for them parting the land that was given to us. So this third woe is going to knock off all these so-called key components or players, this conglomerate of heathens in so-called power, to put us in that stead, to govern them and build it all back, and using them as slave labor. We're going to give out continual employment, and we're going to put them in enslaved labor. Okay, so you brothers, hey, you're gonna have a lot of slaves, man, building up everything how you want it, to the T. Okay, to the T. Now it says, going back, Jeremiah 50:29. And it says, therefore shall her young men fall in the streets. Good. And the sons and the daughters are their fathers are the ones who enslaved us. Remember it said, recompense them, his children, Isaiah 14:21. Let me get that real quick. I completely mangled that. Prepare slaughter for his children for the wickedness of their father. Isaiah 14:21. It says, prepare slaughter for his children. That's war. For the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, or for the face of the world with cities. Exactly. So they're all going to be judged collectively. Okay. And people have problems with that because they still got white love. I love the white babies. You got to accept prophecy, man. It don't matter what you love and like. You do not allow your emotions to try to dictate the vibration of prophecy, the flow of prophecy, like the flow of traffic. That's what people do. People's dumbness interrupts the flow of traffic. Therefore shall her young men fall in the streets for the iniquity of their fathers, and all her men of war shall be cut off in that day, saith the Lord. See, behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud, saith the Lord, power of hosts, for thy day is come, the time that I will visit thee, and the most proud shall stumble and fall, and none shall raise him up, and I will kindle a fire in his cities, and it shall devour all round about him. Okay? Burn to the ground. This is Isaiah 9:5. For every battle of a warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. Okay, so this was an omen. All right, I take this as an omen. The largest known remaining antebellum plantation has just burned to the ground. That is an omen. Okay. So Esau, Edom, is getting ready to be judged for everything he has, is, and going to do. Okay, so I'm going to end it there. I pray that this lesson was edifying. I also pray that it was comforting. It was exhorting. Okay, we're on our way out of here. I know that you taste hell, you smell hell, and I do too. But we have to remain spiritually minded so that we have life and peace as he's trying to cause chaos, as he's trying to cultivate the curses. He wants the curses back upon us. But what he doesn't know is soon the curses are going to be upon him. So with that being said, I just want to say, call halal, abanawa, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Call halal, abanawa, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Peace and salutations to the Lord's elect. With that being said, shalom.